again, everyone, and welcome to this latest edition of Blues Clues from our XBTV studios here at Gulfstream Park. And very, very happy to welcome Trader Dale Romans to the broadcast. Thanks for taking time,
Thank you,
Dale.
Jason. I'm a big fan of XBTV, as you know. This has been the best thing to come along with horse racing in many, many years.
Workouts,
the updates, and it's all about the business. It's not all the fluff that goes along with it. It's about the business and the horses and the people and the gambling. It's a great channel you'll come up with.
Well, it's a two-way street because I've long considered you, and I know I'm not alone, a great ambassador of the game, somebody that always takes time to talk, promote the game, promote their horses, so it's very much appreciated. And there's a lot to talk about with you, beginning with the meet that you've had here at Gulfstream Park. Through the time we're taping this, the second to last Friday of the meet, got 24 wins down here.
Yeah,
Has that been, I mean, what were your expectations going in?
Well, you know, you never know when you move from place to place, especially from year to year. And we ended Churchill on a bang. We had a good run down there. And you take December off. Well, you come in here, you're always a little nervous, but I expected us to do well. I didn't know we'd do this well. I didn't know we'd win this many races, and some quality races. I mean, with the Fountain of Youth, which has been a race on my radar since I started. That's one I always wanted on my resume. We got that one. Winning the stake up at Tampa was nice with the filly, and then the seconds and thirds in the Holy Bull, and it's just been an overall really good meet. Things have fallen into place, and horses have run the way they're supposed to.
And it's Florida Derby week, essentially. Yeah. We're 8 days out from the big dance. You've got two runners pointing to the Florida Derby, including that long-awaited Fountain of Youth winner and Promises Fulfilled. How did he come out of the race?
He came out of it super. I mean, better than I could have expected. You know, he's just such a pure talent. Sometimes those horses are hard to gauge because they just do everything so easy, and that's how he did going into the Fountain of Youth. And you know, he had a major excuse. He really should be undefeated in the race at Churchill when he was trying to bolt so bad. He came out with a shin splint. And I don't think if that hadn't happened, we'd be looking at horse 4 and maybe the favorite for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, no question. So he's training great. You also have Storm Runner, who his allowance win here a couple months back, really good effort.
No, that was a big effort. I mean, if you look at the Brisnet numbers, ran 111 that day.
Wow.
And he had no chance. He's a momentum horse. When he's in rhythm and running, you just got to let him keep running. And he had to check in the Fountain of Youth and took himself out of the game. He really had no chance from that point. But we'll give him another shot. You know, Shackelford, a few years back, he ran horrible in the Fountain of Youth off that same allowance win. He had won the race, came back, ran horrible in the Fountain of Youth, and came back and got beat ahead to dial in at 60-1 the Florida Derby. And it wasn't until the last minute I decided to put him in, give him one more chance. He was just working so well, and I said that race has to be a fluke. And I look back now, it's the little decisions you make in your career, what a difference that may have been to him. And maybe he never would have won a Preakness if we hadn't just rolled the dice and run in the Florida Derby.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Any extra maybe sweetness or sentimental value, so to speak, with Promises Fulfilled being by Shackelford?
It always is when you have, I'm just really getting a big feel of having the sons of my horses out there running and watching them. It's like watching your grandchildren. I don't care if it's somebody else. It gives you a little feeling of satisfaction knowing that you had a little something to do with that horse being born. That's
really great.
It is. I mean, with Kitten's Joy and now Shackelford and several other nice ones, it's fun to watch them.
As far as nice ones go, I think of Dak Attack, Free Drop Billy, King Zachary, Promises Fulfilled, Storm Runner. It is a list that keeps seemingly going almost forever as far as top class promising 3-year-olds. Is this the deepest crop you've had?
Oh, it's by far the deepest crop of 3-year-olds. You know, a few years ago, I kind of tailored my whole program as to buying horses or getting horses in the barn with Derby profiles. And we set up what we think is the Derby profile on a yearling and went out and tried to buy some, and it's been working out. And it all really came together this year, or last year, with these young 2-year-olds and that crop of the yearlings that we had bought. And I think we've honed it down pretty tight. And it was exciting. Even Tiz Mischief, I haven't given up on him yet. We're going to give him one more shot back at a major prep here at the end. He's been the only real disappointment this winter.
That's one of the things I love about your stable. You guys are not afraid to take shots.
You know, Wayne Lucas told me this probably 20 years ago walking out of the racetrack at Saratoga. He said he made millions of dollars running horses where people thought he didn't belong. He said, don't wait around for your horse to prove it. If you think he's going the right direction, run him in the spot. And it's paid off immensely in my career. The other thing about taking shots, I mean, you have to be realistic, and you have to know that you have the right horse doing well. But if you don't run well, they'll talk about it for a half hour and it's over. But if you happen to upset the apple cart, they talk about it forever.
Well, that leads me to Keen Ice, American Pharaoh. In that Travers back in 2015, you're against the Triple Crown champion. Yep. You upset him at Saratoga. would you consider that the greatest win of your career?
Yeah, probably. And you step back and look at the whole thing, but you know, I thought my first win was the greatest win. I made 3,500 at Turfway Park in February of '87, and as things get bigger all the time, you set the bar goes up and the goals get higher. But I couldn't have been happier than I was that day I won my first race. But to go down in history and to do something that the last person to do, beat a Triple Crown winner at Saratoga, was my good friend Alan Jerkins. That was a special day.
Yeah, I bet. And I was thinking back, Keen Ice, winning the Travers, Roses in May. What was his whole career and journey, winning the Whitney, winning the Dubai World Cup? What was that whole, having had a decade or more to look back through it, what's that like?
You know, I was talking to Billy Badgett here the other day about all the great horses he had trained. It's never fun really when you have them because there's so much stress involved. But when you look back and you think of how great that horse was and the fact that you get to be around greatness, that's what makes this sport special. There's no place else a guy like me could be around such great athletes and really greatness in what they do. Yeah. And he was one of them. He's one that put me on, you know, really elevated me to a different level. He won the first grade one, which was the Whitney. And it's funny that he and Kitten's Joy came in the same day. One was 2 and one was 3. And the day they showed up at the barn changed my life and my career. And those horses and Ken Ramsey a lot for, you know, putting me on the path to where I've come.
Yeah, Kitten's Joy has obviously turned into one of the best turf stallion, I think, standing in America, and one of the most prolific stallions standing.
He's just one of the best stallions, period.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to sit back and watch him. He was such a great racehorse. I mean, to this day, I say he's probably the best horse I've ever trained. He did some crazy things, and I think now about, you know, I was 38, 39 when I had him. I'd like to have him today and see if I felt the same aura around him as I did back then. But I'd catch myself standing around the barn at night just watching him walk around the stall, and it's like watching Fred Astaire dance. He just moved in the stall even different than everybody else.
Amazing. I remember that rivalry he had. I mean, for him and Artie Schiller to come along, same crop, same age, oftentimes as 3-year-olds. Yeah, same sire, both El Prados. That was a really, really great rivalry.
It was a good one. It was a good one. And Artie ended up being a great miler more than anything. And then, of course, Kitten's Joy stretched it out to 1.5 miles. And, but that little period of my life, that was something special. I mean, Dubai World Cup, and I took both of them to the Breeders' Cup in Dallas. And I'd never run a Breeders' Cup before and never expected to be back again. And we ran second in the Classic and second in the Turf. And left there feeling like somebody kicked me in the stomach, even though I'd made more money than I ever thought I'd make in my life that one day.
What a game.
It is a game.
What a game. Any sense of extra pride every spring when you get back to Louisville? Because you've always been sort of the local boy done good beneath the Twin Spires. Your dad, Jerry Romans, longtime trainer and legendary horseman. What's that getting back to Kentucky every spring for the Derby like?
Oh, it's so exciting. There's nothing like it. And you're right, it is home, and the whole community gets behind my whole career. And it's, you know, if we ever do win a Derby, I'd like to do it this year, it'll be a major party in that city, and we'll have a lot of fun that night.
I bet. Last thing, King Zachary, I'm very high on him. The race he almost went down and kept himself up 2 back made me a fan. Love seeing him break his maiden with a much smoother trip last weekend. What's the plans for him?
Well, there's a lot of special things that come with him, I think. I think he's as good as it gets, and we'll probably run him back in one of the last major preps, and I don't know which one it'll be yet. And it would either probably be the Wood, Arkansas Derby, or Bluegrass, and try to get him enough points to head on into Churchill Downs.
You think he's that good?
I think he's that good. I think he's every bit that good. He got behind the 8 ball a little bit with some couple little issues, nothing major. They're all behind him now. And the way he ran the other day, that you know, I thought about taking him to the Rebel right off the maiden win. I think that much of him.
Wow.
And I had better judgment set in. I said, let's try the maiden race, and Gulfstream got a race to go for him, and he won spectacular. So we'll figure it out from here, but I think he deserves a shot with the best.
All right. Well, you're one of the best. Good luck in the Florida Derby, and thanks again, Dale, for joining us. All right, and that's it for this edition of Blues Clues. Hope everybody has a great Florida Derby, and we'll see you next time from our XBTV studios.